Well, we're already talking about the campaign that's coming up, and one man believes he can beat Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Joining me is Mike Stauffer, and you're taking on one of the most powerful politicians in Arizona history, really. You're a veteran of NYPD and Scottsdale Police Force. Tell me why you believe, Mike, that you can win.
Well, I want to end the cronyism, the corruption, and the criminal misconduct that's going on in MCSO right now. I believe I can win because people are, it's time. People are tired of the constant battles that are going on in MCSO.
We're going to get into that a little bit, into some of these allegations. And let me ask you this. For those who have just heard Mike Stauffer for the first time, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a cop all my life. I started in NYPD. I started as an auxiliary police officer with the city of New York while I was completing college. I became a full-time police officer, and I was assigned to some of the toughest neighborhoods in the country, in both Brooklyn and Manhattan. I was one of the first 6 K-9 officers in New York City, in the New York City Police Department. And then I worked in the Organized Crime Bureau in the Narcotics Division during the late 80s. I moved out here with my family in 1990, and I continued my career in law enforcement in the Scottsdale Police Department. I've been there for 21 years, almost 21 years, and I was a patrol officer. I moved on to be a sergeant. I was a lieutenant. Right after I got promoted to lieutenant, I got my master's degree in management. And I worked for the Office of the Chief as the Chief of Staff. I supervised the Internal Affairs Bureau, the Budget Office, and the Public Information Office. And currently I'm working in our downtown district, where very often I'm the highest ranking official in the city of Scottsdale.
Okay, so you've had a lot of management experience in law enforcement, it sounds like, and you're coming from Scottsdale Police, so you obviously work a lot with other police forces here in the Valley. And as we talk about the sheriff's office, and last year Sheriff Paul Babu led an independent investigation of the office and found several, I guess, conclusions that were made related to mismanagement, abuse of power. What do you believe was most important that came out of that independent report of Sheriff Arpaio's office? Well, I think that's something that you've talked about.
I think the biggest thing that did not come out of that report, and I think was kind of whitewashed, was that Sheriff Arpaio did not know anything about what was going on. There is no way that somebody who is in charge of a police organization like he is had no knowledge of the misconduct that was going on in his own office. If he did, he was incompetent. If he did not, he's criminally negligent.
Well, now the sheriff did fire, 3 of the top guys in the office, and so there's sort of this feeling among many that he got rid of the quote-unquote bad apples. How would you lead the office if you were to be put in charge? What would you do differently? Well,
I would. The first thing I would do is I would move out of that $30,000 a month palace that he's got up there on Central.
They do lease office space in the Wells Fargo building. That's what you're referring to.
Yes.
So you're saying you would go to a county building?
I would go to a county building where I was more accessible to the frontline troops and lead from the front. I would also shrink the size of the command staff. Currently, there's 30 some odd people in that command staff. I would shrink that down. Some of the larger sheriff's offices around the country can do it with 8 chiefs or 6 chiefs. I believe I can do it with 8 chiefs. That makes it a more accountable to me with what's going on in the office. I will never be an I don't recall or I didn't know sheriff.
A large part of Sheriff Arpaio's success has been to the fact that he has made illegal immigration a priority in his office. Now, whether or not you agree with exactly how he's gone about enforcing this, voters have shown time and time again they're passionate about this issue, and they want the local law enforcement to do something about illegal immigration.
Yes.
How would you approach illegal immigration?
Well, there's a lot more to enforcing the law than just running around haphazardly doing random sweeps. That is ineffective, and that doesn't get the job done. The job is getting done by local law enforcement, local police departments every day of the week without having to pull together 300 personnel and a 50 caliber machine gun and tanks. It's done on a daily basis by local law enforcement, just arresting people for other things and discovering that there's illegal immigration, there's an illegal immigrant in the group that's being arrested. Haphazardly running around is not the way to do it. It lends itself to violating civil rights, that kind of thing. So it's better to do a targeted investigation where you identify people and then make the arrests. It's much more effective to do it that way with the cooperation of course, ICE, Border Patrol, and the local law enforcement agencies that have jurisdiction in that area.
All right, Lieutenant Mike Stauffer, you hope to be the new sheriff in town once the election comes about. You will be running as an independent, and if anyone wants to contact you, how can they do that? They can
get on my website, which is votestauffer.com.
VoteStauffer.com,
yes,
S-T-A-U-F-F-E-R.
S-T-A-U-F-F-E-R. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and all the social media.
Okay, great. Well, Mike, thank you so much. Good luck, Lieutenant Mike Stauffer.
Thank you very much for having me.